The phone screen glowed like a beacon in the dark, its light slicing through the quiet of the bedroom. My heart lurched as I read the message again. Each word a needle in my chest. Meet me at the usual spot. Midnight. Don't tell him. It wasn't meant for my eyes, but there it was, stark and undeniable, on Claire's phone, left carelessly on the nightstand. Her breathing was soft, steady, as she slept beside me, oblivious to the storm brewing in my gut. I wanted to shake her awake, demand answers, but my hand froze above her shoulder, trembling with a mix of rage and dread. What was I about to uncover? The clock ticked past 11 p.m., each second a hammer against my skull. I'd always trusted Claire, her laugh, her warmth, the way she'd curl into me on nights like this. But lately there were cracks. She'd been distant, her phone always angled just out of sight, her excuses for late nights at girls' nights or work events growing flimsier. I'd brushed it off, told myself I was paranoid, that love meant trust. But that message, don't tell him, it wasn't paranoia. It was a blade, and it was already cutting. I slipped out of bed, the hardwood cold against my bare feet, and paced the living room. The city hummed outside our apartment window, a restless pulse of headlights and distant horns. My mind churned, replaying every moment of the past few months. The way she'd linger in the bathroom, texting furiously, then emerge with a smile too bright to be real. The faint scent of unfamiliar cologne on her jacket last week, dismissed as probably from the crowded bar. I'd wanted to believe her. God, I'd wanted to. I grabbed my coat and keys, heart pounding. The usual spot could only mean one place. The Blue Lantern, a dimly lit club downtown where she went with her single friends. She'd always framed it as harmless fun, rolling her eyes when I hesitated. If you don't like me going to clubs with my single friends, you're controlling, she'd said once, her voice sharp with accusation. I'd backed off, ashamed of my doubt. Now those words felt like a trap. The streets were slick with rain as I drove, the wiper's rhythmic swish a counterpoint to my ragged breathing. The Blue Lantern's neon sign flickered ahead, casting a sickly glow over the crowd spilling onto the sidewalk. I parked, my hands shaking as I gripped the wheel. Part of me wanted to turn back, to pretend I'd never seen that message. But the other part, the one burning with betrayal, pushed me out of the car. Inside, the club was a sensory assault. Pulsing bass, flashing lights, the sharp tang of sweat and liquor. I scanned the crowd, my eyes darting over swaying bodies, searching for her familiar silhouette. My stomach twisted with every passing second. What if she wasn't here? What if she was? Then I saw her in a corner booth, her auburn hair catching the strobe lights. She was laughing, her hand resting on a man's arm. A man I didn't know. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a confidence that made my skin crawl. His hand brushed hers, lingering too long, and she didn't pull away. My chest tightened, the air too thick to breathe. I wanted to storm over, to confront them, but my feet felt glued to the floor. Doubt crept in, insidious and cold. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe he was just a friend. But the message echoed in my mind. Don't tell him. I edged closer, weaving through the crowd, my pulse a drumbeat in my ears. Their conversation was drowned out by the music, but their body language spoke volumes. The way she leaned in, her smile too intimate, her eyes too bright. I caught fragments of their words. Missed you. Can't keep doing this. Each one a shard of glass in my heart. My hands clenched, nails biting into my palms. I wanted to scream, to demand the truth, but fear held me back. What if the truth destroyed me? I slipped into a shadowed corner, watching as they stood and moved toward the dance floor. Her hand found his, their fingers intertwining with a familiarity that made my vision blur. The room spun, the lights too bright, the music too loud. I remembered our first date, dancing in a place like this, her laughter warm and unguarded. Had that been a lie too? How long had this been going on? My phone buzzed and I flinched. A text from Claire. Hey, staying late at work. Don't wait up. The lie was so blatant, it stole my breath. I stared at the screen, then back at her, swaying with him under the pulsing lights. My heart screamed to confront her, but my mind raced with questions. Who was he? How long had she been slipping away from me? And why? Why wasn't I enough? I followed them as they left the club, my footsteps silent against the rain-soaked pavement. They ducked into an alley, and I hung back, my breath catching as they stopped under a street lamp. He pulled her close, his lips brushing her forehead, and she didn't resist. My world tilted. I wanted to believe there was an explanation, something to make this make sense, but the evidence was crushing. Still, I clung to a shred of hope, pathetic and desperate. "Claire," I called, my voice cracking. They froze, her eyes wide as she turned to face me. For a moment, time stopped, the rain a soft hiss around us. Her expression flickered, shock, guilt, then something harder, defiant. "Jake," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing." My words were bitter, laced with pain. The man stepped back, his face unreadable, but he didn't leave. He stood there, a silent challenge. "It's not what you think," she said, but her voice faltered, and I saw the lie in her eyes. "He's just a friend." "Then why the secrets?" I stepped closer, my voice rising. "Why the texts? Don't tell him." "What the hell, Claire?" She flinched, her defiance crumbling. "I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered, tears brimming. "It just happened." The man spoke then, his voice low, almost regretful. "I'm sorry, man. I didn't know she was serious with anyone at first." The words hit like a punch. At first. So this wasn't a one-time thing. It was ongoing, deliberate. My knees buckled, but I stayed upright, fueled by anger and heartbreak. "How long?" I demanded, my eyes locked on Claire. She looked away, her silence louder than any confession. The rain plastered her hair to her face, and for a moment, I saw the woman I loved. The one I thought I knew. But she was a stranger now. Her secrets laid bare in the dim light. "I trusted you," I said, my voice breaking. "I gave you everything." "I know," she sobbed, reaching for me. I stepped back, the distance between us a chasm. "I'm sorry, Jake. I didn't mean for it to go this far." The man shifted, uncomfortable, and muttered something about leaving. He walked away, disappearing into the rain, but the damage was done. Claire and I stood there, the weight of her betrayal crushing us both. I wanted to hate her, to walk away and never look back, but love clung to me, stubborn and painful. "Why?" I asked, the question raw, desperate. "What did I do wrong?" She shook her head, tears mixing with the rain. "It wasn't you. It was me. I felt trapped. I didn't know how to tell you." Her words twisted the knife deeper. Trapped. After everything, our plans, our promises, she felt trapped. I turned away, unable to look at her, my heart a battlefield of love and betrayal. The city's hum faded, leaving only the sound of rain and my own ragged breathing. As I walked back to my car, her sobs echoed behind me, but I didn't turn back. The truth was out, and it was uglier than I'd feared. Yet in the midst of the pain, a strange clarity emerged. I'd loved her fully, blindly, but love wasn't enough to fix this. The twist wasn't just her betrayal. It was the realization that I'd been betraying myself, ignoring the signs, clinging to a version of her that no longer existed. I drove into the night, the road blurring through my tears, knowing I'd never trust the same way again. But maybe, just maybe, that was the first step toward something real.